Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of What is Your Marathon podcast. I'm your host Karthik Viswanathan. I'm super excited to present you all in today's session Sudhir Juneja, the founder of Brands and Best, a business coaching firm based out of Western Melbourne region. Brands and Biz is a boutique firm which focuses upon business mentoring, business coaching, and business consulting services for all new startup and small medium businesses. Sudhir, as a well seasoned professional with 30 plus years of experience across product management, marketing, general managing, sales, bundles up all his knowledge and expertise in a mission to improve and empower all the small medium businesses to reach its fullest potential. In this episode, Sudhir talks about his business beginnings, the ways of collaboration, and the lines of businesses. He shares some of the insights and knowledge that can be really useful for the small medium business owners. And don't miss this one, and take a notebook and take a lot of notes from here. And also, he talks about the current life's marathon that he's running in the form of business coach. Without any further ado, let's go to the show and let's hear from the man himself. Yeah, a warm welcome to you, Sudhir, for our next episode of What is Your Marathon podcast. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much, Karthik. My pleasure to be there with you.
Many of my listeners would be knowing you, Sudhir, in different shape or form. So let me ask you, like, from where it all started, especially the brands and biz.
It started nearly 4.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, I work a fair bit in the local community here. And one of the things which I was saying was that there was a little bit of financial stress within the families that uh, probably many families were struggling where they were not able to reach up to their max potential levels, and it was not giving them the financial leverage to do whatever they wanted to do. So when
Okay.
I say families, it is probably there are situations where there are moms who are out of the workforce. There are men who are in the workforce, but they are not at the level where they would expect themselves to be in. So there's what I see that even if, in the entire segment, there's a huge capacity which is available in those people where if they go and do up to their max potential, there's a lot of work they can do. So it was basically to utilize that extra capacity in the men and women segment.
Okay.
And see what best they can do to help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's where this concept started. And I am working with the new businesses. I am working with existing businesses. So
Okay.
the basic thing is I use this as a leverage for people to maximize their outcome from whatever they are doing.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that's good because you looked up into a problem area and then you wanted to help
Yeah,
around and then make their life much more better. So that's really
yeah,
great.
yeah.
And what are the lines of businesses you are having in with this model?
Karthik, the kind of businesses which I deal with, because my expertise is in retail.
Okay.
So consumer durables or consumer perishable goods, anyone who's dealing in those kind of products or services, that's where I am able to add value to them. So if it is an industrial business or which is for example, a IT services kind of a thing, probably not in those areas because my expertise is not in that area. So my niche is primarily in the consumer goods, and that's where I pitch in and help people in their businesses.
Oh, right. Okay. So, in that way, like who your user bases would be like, is any target market you're working across there or?
My target market is small to medium size retailers
Mhm.
or new businesses which are starting up. And because of the time constraints and the capacity, I focus primarily on the western and main Melbourne area.
Mhm.
I do not focus as much on the eastern side of the city or in the northern side of the cities.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
primarily focusing on Melbourne.
Melbourne. That's great. That's great because you're taking up so many different businesses of different shape or form, and then we're just going
Yeah.
from there. And could you please talk about bit more about your services in any of those businesses, like what areas that
You
you'll be
see,
touching
the
base?
core service which I provide is the service of business coaching. That's the core business,
Okay.
and that includes business coaching, business consulting, mentoring.
Hmm.
So there's a fine difference between all three areas.
Mm-hmm.
And in the target market which I am, I do all three kinds.
Okay.
And yeah, and to support that business, because as I started the business coaching, I found there are certain areas where small businesses struggle to get those services.
Mm-hmm.
So along with that, there are some support services, like I have also started the business grid, which is the business networking
Mm.
setup.
Mm.
And that's again primarily focusing on the western side of the city.
Very okay.
Then, along with that, I have a specialty exhibitions business,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
again to support the small businesses. And
Mm.
those are specialty exhibitions which are focusing on a very niche area where
Mm.
there's a huge community need, and it's kind of bringing the consumers and the retailers in under one roof and having
Right.
those exhibitions.
Right. Yeah. That's good to hear, Sudhir, because it's not only like you're just providing, like you're taking one business and providing the coaching and mentoring for it, but also you're giving a platform for them to exhibit their consumer goods through exhibitions and also bringing out of their shell and asking them to network via
Yeah,
your
so it's a kind
your
of a
yeah.
real life situation in which they are exposed to a lot of businesses, new businesses as such, who do not have exposure to these situations.
Hmm.
And the hardest thing any small business or large business finds is in terms of finding the customers. So
Hmm.
both these activities help them in terms of finding the customers. Now, along with that,
Yeah.
uh, year and a half ago or so, I also added the digital media marketing that
Okay.
helps
That's
the
good.
customers in terms of reaching out to the my customers to reach out to their customers
Hmm.
as the end consumers.
Right. That's great. Yeah. I
So,
think
because you see, one of the thing which I have noticed is that generally in small business, what happens is the entrepreneur who has an idea,
hmm.
he may be functionally very good in that particular area. For
Right.
example, there is a person who's a very good chef,
Okay.
and he thinks of starting a business as a restaurant.
Okay.
Or, for example, there is a good plumber, he's working with someone and he thinks that probably it is time for him to start his
Hmm.
own gig.
Hmm.
Now, that functional area is very strong with these people.
Yeah.
But when it comes to handling the entire business, it is
Hmm.
apart from this functional area, there are many other aspects of the business
Right. Right.
which
Yeah.
people are not even exposed to because they were just exposed to that functional area. They're pretty good in that,
Hmm.
but they have no idea about business plans. They do not have any idea about cash flows. They do not have any idea about marketing and promoting themselves.
Hmm.
And they may have the best functional service,
Right.
but they are not very good in marketing themselves.
Makes
And
sense.
that
Makes
becomes a
sense.
huge bottleneck. So the services which I am providing
Hmm.
is to clear those bottlenecks for them and handhold them and showcase it to them that yes, that confidence level goes up, and then they are able to do those things correctly
Those things.
themselves.
Okay. Yeah. I think you drove a very good point over there because you are letting them to do what they're best at, that is their core business or the core function, but you are helping out in painting the picture across to take their product or services to the market and excel from there. So I
Yeah.
think that's the one of the most key things that any of the business would be needing it. And also for my listeners, like that one of the things that often it would be underrated because people will be thinking, yeah, I'm good at one functional thing, but I don't need other support. But the moment they get into the business mode, all these things will play a huge part. And
Yeah.
thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing that one. So it's really good for people to know that those are all the elements that they need to consider while improving or while kicking off their initial businesses. So
hmm
that's good.
hmm
Yeah.
And you see, the thing is, when a person starts a business, a small business especially,
Mm.
uh, they don't have an environment in which they can go out and share those things with the knowledgeable people,
Mm.
because most of the people have their friend circle, and small businesses cannot afford big consultants,
Mm.
so they don't have even a sounding board where they can talk to. Even at home,
Yeah.
you won't get, probably your partner will not understand what you're exactly trying to do,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
So, and in many cases you do not want to discuss in detail with your friend circle.
Mm.
because what I have seen is that in those situations there are more naysayers and people pulling you down rather than giving you a patient hearing and seeing the thing objectively and supporting you in doing that. And that's where a business coach can come and help you and probably see whether you have crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's before you actually take the plunge.
Take the plunge. Okay, yeah, it's good. And I like your way of saying and all these things in a very passionate and also very calmful way. And can I ask you, like, how you became passionate about this coaching role or coaching kind of a
Okay.
mentor
Now,
role?
what happens is I am related to business for the last 30 years, I would say now.
Wow, 30
And
years.
I 30 years, and I have huge experience in terms of product management, marketing,
Mm,
and these areas.
mm,
So I have a general management experience. I have a product management, marketing experience. I have sales experience,
mm, mm.
and a lot of the so it becomes a fantastic team when you see the functional people who are lacking in those areas
Mm.
and then forming a team and doing that. So probably before I started my business coaching business formally,
Mm.
I was already telling, advising, and encouraging a lot of other businesses.
Right.
And the strategies and the formulas I was giving them to implement
Mm.
were succeeding like anything.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So if you see the success rate of your advice and people really appreciate that,
Mm.
then probably that becomes a second nature, and that becomes a value add to the people you're
Correct.
working with.
That's right. Okay.
So, and there was a huge need of that thing in the market, and hence I said,
Mm.
okay, let's why not actually formalize it and do it and help a lot of people.
Yeah, it's really good, Sudhir, because you saw the benefits of your own coaching and teaching to the known circle of friends or the businesses, and then you wanted to expand the impact. You want to create more and more impact, and then you started this business, and then now you're serving a lot many customers. So that's really great. In this journey, Sudhir, like, what are the key challenges that what you faced, and how did you overcome those challenges in setting up brands like this?
You see, the biggest challenge you face is in terms of reaching out to your consumers and finding the right customers.
Mm.
And until unless you have a good knowledge of your market,
Mm-hmm.
it is very difficult to do that. And as my customers are trying ways and finding ways of getting more customers, I implement those on myself also and see how I can reach the customers and how I can address those things with the potential businesses.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's one of the big challenges is there.
Mm.
And the second thing is with the other things which I do, time management is a big challenge which I have to overcome on a daily basis, because
Right.
there are at a given time there are 3 to 4 different areas in which I operate in,
Mm-hmm.
and business is just one of those areas.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I have to take care of all those areas equally well,
Mm. Mm.
so that I am able to deliver the best in all these areas.
Right. Okay. That's good. That's good. And yeah, so in this way, like, how you collaborate with your local businesses or your potential customers or the local events organizers, because you put up events, you put up networking events too. So how are you collaborating with all these people, like all these different businesses?
You see, if you are very clear about the space in which you're working in or the space you want to get into,
Mm.
the starting point is to start with the end.
Right. Okay. Good.
Be in the
Good.
spaces, be in the spaces where your like-minded community is,
Mm-hmm.
and once you are operating in that territory, the other things follow suit.
Mm.
But you have to be systematic and you have to be patient.
Mm.
That's very important,
Okay.
because having a plan and then implementing that plan on a daily basis is very important. Being in the right place and not spreading yourself too much across
Mm.
thinly, but
Mm.
focusing on the core areas where you want to focus on. is the key where you will do it. And my way of looking at it is that in terms of collaborations, collaborations are good, but those collaborations have to be commercial collaborations if you're doing business.
Right.
It has to be meaningful to all the parties when you're doing a collaboration, so that you are achieving the business goals also along with collaborating.
Collaborations. Okay. Yeah.
Because generally what happens is I have seen this. You were there in the Enterprising Wyndham program, right?
Yes.
So I was coaching in that for 3 years as a mentor. I was there 2 or 3 years.
3 years.
And one of the things which I saw was that a lot of collaboration happens there, which is a very good thing. But in terms of collaborations, it has to be always the basic goal of the business is to have the end objective in mind. What exactly are you going to achieve for your business by doing those collaborations?
It shouldn't be a time wasting thing.
Small example, like recently I did an exhibition. So one of the things which is coming out of the exhibitions is like one of the exhibition was the kids services exhibition.
Okay.
So in this exhibition, all the service providers who provides services for school-going children, right from kinder right up till VCE. So all those services are brought under one roof. And those include table tennis coaches, cricket coaches, tuition centers, dance schools, swimming schools, aerobics, gymnastics, even girl guides.
Okay.
All these people are there.
Right. All the touch points in their life.
So one of the things which I encourage them to do is that you are there to meet the customers who are your end consumers. Now, that is a great opportunity where different businesses can collaborate and work together. Right. So there's a recent example of the same thing where the Tarni table tennis group has collaborated with another customer of mine who got trained by me called Brainlytics.
Right.
Now they are coming out with a program together and delivering that program. Same way, a dance school can collaborate with the gymnastics program or the swimming program. So these are the meaningful collaborations which are having the similar target audience and which are aiming for the same thing. And the only thing you have to be careful is not to carry the fear that you're both chasing the same dollar value from parents' pockets.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Because if you feel that you believe in the law of abundance, then that fear of competition goes away and fear of the value of collaboration comes in, and then you start adding value to your business and other businesses as well.
Yeah, that's so insightful.
Similar thing is based on that. I did a exhibition for home services. Now in the home services business, all the plumbers, electricians, builders, mortgage brokers, real estate agents, they were involved in that.
Right.
Now, all these people could actually collaborate together.
Okay.
Right? And that's where my role comes in terms of bringing people who are like-minded together under one roof.
Okay.
And then we can give them the strategies and they can actually take it on further from there. And the same thing happens in our business networking, the business guild as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's good because you're putting up a platform and then asking them to create their own bridge rather than just telling them like what to do, but you're making them
because that's the real life. Yeah, exactly. That's the real life. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And also, like I have heard a lot about Western Gymkhana Club, where you were a part of like one of the keystones from there. Like, could you please talk about that?
The Western Gymkhana is a totally not-for-profit setup we have, and we've been running this for last 8 years. So, in fact, yesterday was the club anniversary. We've been running it for 8 years now.
Wow!
And that's thank you so much. And that's primarily operating in the family space. And we are constrained by the venues which are available locally. So we generally keep a top limit of around 50 families in the club because all our activities are held in the community centers, and none of the community centers can accommodate more than 120 people.
Right.
So that's why we keep a limit on 50, and it's going well. We have helped build a very strong community between the club members and also with the general wider community. And we participate in a lot of general community events as well.
Okay.
And in that space, our role is that if there is a space available or activity available or some need in the community, could be anything,
yeah,
which anyone is not able to fulfill, then we pitch in and handhold and help them achieve that community work.
Right. Okay.
And we have done it in many times. For example, we have been running typical Indian event, which is Karwa Chauth and Mehndi Ki Raat.
Okay.
So probably 6 years ago, local community members, they said that we want to do it, but there's no place which is doing it.
Right. Okay.
And then since then we have picked the baton, we are running with that, and we are delivering that ongoing basis, and everyone waits for that event to come. Right. Yes. Same way when we came in, we started the club. There were not many bigger Indian events happening here, like Diwali and Holi and all. So we started doing our events, but gradually then there were bigger events which came in, and we started participating with them.
Okay.
So
again, collaboration.
Exactly, as a collaboration, working together as a community, and building each other up together as a community, and that's why the club's motto is building community together.
Building community together. Okay.
Yeah, and we work with the wider community. We work in the pop-up park as well, and we are always there whenever these events are there. And and we basically operate in the family space. And one of the things which we want to make sure is that there's happiness around in the families, and there's a good nurturing place for young ones in happy families.
Oh wow, that's great, because in both of these engagements, like I could just see, like you found a problem area or a gap, and then you started putting together a platform and build around it. And
see, I'll give you a small reason where the Western Gymkhana Club started, how it started.
Yeah.
So back in 2012, somehow I was not involved with the community before. So in 2012, if you go back and look the things happening in Melbourne, there were quite a few family violence cases in Melbourne.
Okay.
And a few deaths because of that in our Indian community.
Wow. Okay.
And one of the reasons which was highlighted on a regular basis was that there's an isolation in the migrant community, and they are not able to open up, and that's why things like those can happen. And that thought basically was there at the back of the mind when I met some other like-minded people in my kids' dance class.
Okay.
And all the parents were there, and we were sitting around, and I said, okay, how about we do something like this where we all formally bind each other together and form a group and start working with it. And that's how this Western Gymkhana concept came up.
Yeah, that's good, because
the good thing is that the entire 8-year operations, we do not rely on any government grants.
Wow.
It is purely funded by the club members. And sponsorships. Yeah. But 80% of the thing is run by our club members.
Yeah. That's so proud to be hearing on the thing, because you found this one, you just did this one. So what excites you a lot in this proudful journey there for with GFC?
You see, my basic nature of adding value to spaces wherever I can find that we can add value as human beings to other people. That's the excitement that keeps me going. And then you can keep going without sleeping. You can keep going without eating. That's the passion. So you have to have that passion in whatever you do.
Yeah.
And that's important. Yeah. That doesn't mean that you don't sleep and don't eat, but if it comes to that, you can work 24 hours also.
24 hours.
And there are times, especially in October, November, when we have peak season time for my business, for the club events, for the community events. And we probably survive with 3-4 hours sleep on those 2 months.
Wow. Okay, that's a commitment and dedication. I can just.
And that's exactly, and that's why if you don't have a passion and your reasons are not right, You'll
Right.
not be able to do that.
Do that thing. Yeah, that's great. That's great. And you rightly touch base, and that's a good segue. Like the next one, like I just wanted to ask, like if there is any newbie or new person entering into a business, whether it is social or enterprise or is commercial, so what are the key things that you would be advising them of?
The very first thing is don't put the cart in front of the horse.
Right.
So
Okay.
always have the horse in front of the cart, because if you start a business with the end objective of making money,
Hmm.
that doesn't bring happiness.
Correct. Correct. Well said.
If
Well
if
said.
your basis of doing something as a business or a not-profit thing
Hmm.
is very clear to you, and the reasons are right, and there are no hidden agendas,
Hmm.
then go for it.
Right.
And even if there is a hidden agenda, spell it out,
Spell it out. Yeah.
so that you're pretty transparent in what you're doing
Yeah.
and why you're doing something.
Hmm. Good. Good.
So having the objective very clear
Hmm.
of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where you want to take it.
Hmm.
So in business sense, you will call it as having a vision, a purpose, a mission,
Hmm. Good.
a
But you
plan,
just plan the thing,
and then
but you just
executing the plan.
yeah, but you just nicely put it up into get the objective right, whys and what's of it. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with this unprecedented time of COVID-19, what are the specific challenges that you're facing across both in your commercial business setup and also with your not-for-profit engagements?
You see, the biggest challenge is uh, not letting people lose hope.
Mm.
That is the biggest challenge, whether it is your own business or whether it is a community work or whether it is in the family.
Mm.
So that's the biggest challenge. It is a big mind game. You have to keep yourself and the people around you very upbeat, because if you lose hope, then you lost everything.
Right. Right.
So, and if you have not lost hope, you will find ways of going through and sailing through these hard times.
Mm. Mm. Okay.
Doing online meetings or online business or doing all those things are just an outcome of not losing hope. You'll find ways. So it is basically like somebody throws you in the swimming pool, and if you have faith, and that person is watching over you, you will swim through or you will not drown.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
But not having that faith will be more harmful to you. And that's where having that faith and having that hope that things will be all right. It's a temporary thing, but staying safe is the most important thing. Stay safe. So in our Hindi we say "Jaan hai to jahaan hai." Right. So if you are healthy and you are up and kicking, then you can recover everything after the COVID times. So staying safe and healthy is very important.
Very important. It's good.
Mentally and physically.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Yeah, it's good. And what are the new engagements or new thinking or new projects that you're working upon at the moment? If you
There are
could
quite
share
a few.
with us.
There are quite a few. Probably we'll take a couple of months and we'll announce a few more things which are happening while we are all in hibernation. But the main thing which I am focusing currently is the world is moving digital, and my business is also going in that direction, and encouraging a lot of businesses to do that, because there's a huge opportunity out there. And then whatever benchmark you set for yourself during the COVID times, you can always take it up from there.
Right. Okay.
So basically find new strategies of doing business. Probably you may not have done those businesses before.
Okay.
Right? But think outside the square, and then probably you'll find a lot of spaces where you can actually make a business case and do certain things.
Right. Okay. Cool. That's great. And I think you would already touched base, but I just wanted to ask, like, what is your marathon at the moment in your life?
My marathon is taking my business to a level where I can help a lot of people in achieving what they want to achieve, as many people as I can help. That is the biggest marathon I have, and the thing which there are few terms which I have started using of late, probably in the last 1 year or so. One is called entrepreneur.
Hmm.
Probably, I think I have discussed it with people. Otherwise, entrepreneur is a term whereby you work as in a job as well as an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
So there's a good rush of actually going and starting a business and doing something.
Hmm.
But having said that, a business takes its own time to give you returns.
Hmm.
So during that time, you need to have a base income of some kind, which you need to earn.
Hmm.
And being an entrepreneur helps you do that. So you're employed at one time space, and you're also running a business. So that's one of the things which is there. And other term which I was saying before COVID, but now I'm not using it as much, is 36/7. So
And
rather than 24/7, find strategies where you can deliver 36/7.
all right. Okay.
But I think we went as a planet, we went quite on extreme of doing 36/7, and that's why we've landed into this complete halt. So I have stopped using the 36/7 for now.
Okay.
But yeah, having a good plan to deliver the most out of 24/7 is very important.
Perfect. Thank you. And so thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts and all your insights from your own life journey and from your client's journey as well. So, and I wish you all the very best, Sudhir, in your brands and biz and network guild and your commercial exhibitions and for the Western Gymkhana Club and all any other future engagements that what you're going to embark. And all the very best. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Karthik. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
That was a fantastic, insightful discussion with Sudhir, the founder of Brands and Biz. I'm pretty sure a lot of my small business owners, listeners, will be having a lot of takeaways, and I'm pretty sure you would have taken some notes by this time. So, if you're a small, medium business owner or a new startup and dealing with consumer goods, and if you're based out of Western Melbourne region or any other Melbourne region for that matter, and if you're thinking around to get some guidance, please get in touch with Brands and Biz, and I'm pretty sure like you can have some meaningful collaboration with Sudhir, and then you can find some ways to get your business to the next level. All right. So please share this episode with your family members, friends, business colleagues, work colleagues, and have this as a conversation starter. I request you all to subscribe or follow the podcast channel from whatever the platform you are listening to, so that like whenever I am publishing a new episode, you will be notified immediately and you can listen to it very immediately. And thanks again for streaming us in your day or night or whatever the time you are listening this episode. And enjoy every moment of your life and dreams would come true. Until the next episode, it's bye from Karthik Viswanathan.